Yesterday, on September 24th, former President Bill the Big Dog Clinton and President Obama met for an hour-long educational meeting hosted by the Clinton Global Initiative Foundation to discuss in an unusually open setting just what all the Affordable Care Act entails. This is a big deal across America because for an obscene amount of time, President Obama has rarely ever sought to explain the details of the Affordable Care Act in a setting so dissociated from the usual campaign trail. Here, he answered many of Bill Clinton's questions and trumpeted many of the ACA's impressive achievements to date, while delivering the information in a very casual and easy to understand way. He explained how hospitals don't turn down patients in this country, and that as a result, uninsured patients are sent directly to the emergency room for treatment, which is literally the most expensive hospital service that we have. He said that to say that the way it was before the implementation of the Affordable Care Act, uninsured people were technically charging their emergency room bill to the tab of the American people, and that now they are required to buy their own health insurance so that the insured Americans no longer have to pay on their behalf. He explained how we all save money because of this, $110 billion collective dollars this year to be exact, as the Affordable Care Act now provides insurance for 30 million people. Of course, our healthcare system is far from perfect, as many Western countries and Japan will tell you. They look at America's healthcare system and laugh at how feeble it is and how pathetic it is and scale compared to theirs. But hey, alright, it's a start for us, and I have hope that we'll get there someday. The 30 million previously uninsured Americans that the Affordable Care Act now covers spans only 10% of the U.S. population. We've got 300 million people in this country. Think about that. If we save $110 billion by insuring 10% of the population, then perhaps we can save $1 trillion by insuring the remaining 90% of the nation as well. And that might go toward putting a dent in this $16 trillion debt that we've accumulated. All in good time, my minions. All in good time. Meanwhile, Republican Senator Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio were busy wasting time in Congress by voicing their nearly 24-hour-long spiel on the House floor, trying their hardest to convince people why Americans should fear the tyranny and Nazism of Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare. The reason Ted Cruz's filibuster is just music to my ears is because he's showcasing in a way that only he could just how utterly deranged and obstructionist Republicans have become. The Affordable Care Act's main goal is to spark competition among the health insurance companies in order to drive health insurance costs down, and indeed it has. Why Republican leaders think this is a good thing to oppose is beyond me, but I'm quite happy watching them implode from their own antics so that a new governing party, one with fresh ideas and serious candidates, can rise up to challenge Democrats in future general elections. I believe we're witnessing the Republican Party's final gasp now, people, and trust me when I say this, that the final nail in the coffin just can't come soon enough. I contend that the U.S. and thereby the entire world would be better off without having to deal with this governing party's constant shenanigans. So, 3 cheers for that news. Aside from the 2 news bits previously touched on, though, the U.S. and Iran began talking yesterday, calmly, to one another for the first time without teeth and drool in nearly 40 years. Mainly because the crazy former president of Iran, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, has finally been replaced by the new, far more sensible president, Hassan Rouhani. This guy seems so far to be a total badass. He's only been in office for about 8 weeks now, but he's already extended a hand to the U.S. and even agreed to an interview with one of our reporters, Christina Amanpour, and saying, in rough English I might add, he says, "I would like to say to American people, I bring peace and friendship from Iranians to Americans." He said that, so we should all be happy. I will tell you, when I heard it, that is, I literally felt like hugging the fat man from my room when I heard him say it. U.S. and Iran's bad blood is one of the most imminent threats to world security at the present time. So to hear both President Obama and President Hassan Rouhani talking like this to one another is an important step for peace on Earth. If all goes well, a world war sparked by Iranian and US conflict is one less threat the world has to worry about. Good stuff right there, guys. Good stuff. And did I mention Rouhani is also planning to lift government restrictions on Twitter and Facebook in Iran? Yeah, he said that too. So +2 for world peace. Why? Because the freer Muslim countries are, the better for us all. Propaganda is far more difficult to utilize that way. In other news, the global HIV epidemic is falling at a rate of 33% from 2001 to 2012. This is one of those reports that should just make everyone within the sound of my voice sit up and jiggle in their chair a little bit out of happiness. I mean, really, how long has mankind been plagued with the fear of death for simply doing what we do best? It really sucks, and it sucks especially bad for those in Sub-Saharan Africa who suffer from this disease the most. But thankfully, humanity is looking out for its own yet again by working to eradicate yet another debilitating virus from the face of this earth. We did it with smallpox, we did it with polio, we're doing it with HIV/AIDS, and we're coming for cancer next. I'm telling you, people, we're coming for cancer next. And for all you claiming that we can't save everybody, we're running out of room, overpopulation is real, and whatnot, I hear your concerns, but keep in mind that humanity has confronted every conceivable problem and threat to our survival in the past and present day, and are doing quite well. We haven't blown ourselves up yet. So if that means that we have to solve our overpopulation problem by terraforming deserts into grasslands and beautiful oases and creating giant floating cities on the oceans in order to buy time until we can go to Mars, so be it. Moving right along, I'm sure everyone remembers 16-year-old Malala Yousafzai, the little Pakistani girl that got shot in the head last year by the Taliban for simply wanting to attend school. Well, she's back, and back with a vengeance, as she is urging the UN to raise $175 million to help educate Syrian child refugees. Getting shot in the head is just not enough for Malala, and that's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful because she's continuing to fight for education rights despite the Taliban. I have high hopes for Malala to become Pakistan's future female prime minister. I believe in her, and I believe in her activist cause. She says she wants to be in politics to help her country. Let's hope she can make it. She can be the prime minister, and with a story like hers, she probably will. And if humans are going to survive as a species, we need less dick-waving and more common-sense moderates, like Malala Yousafzai. Also, reports came out today that the world economy, or as I like to call it, Earth's economy, is doing pretty freaking well as of late. It's projected to see the number of megacities on this planet increase from 42 today to 89 within the next 19 years. Earth's citizens are getting a little wealthier now, people, and as a result, John Leahy, Chief Operating Officer for Airbus Customers, stated that the attraction of our travel means that the passenger numbers will more than double from today's 2.9 billion to 6.7 billion by 2032, clearly demonstrating aviation's essential role in economic growth. Being proud that Earth's economy seems to be humming along nicely since the global crash of 2008 is one thing. But this report gives even more hope for humanity than even that, and it all has to do with air travel. The more the world travels and personally experiences the varying cultures and peoples across the world, the more sympathetic and tolerant the world becomes as a whole. But even more than that, it spells the beginning of the end of racial division that afflict this planet. Just think about it. More air travel means more mixed children, and more mixed children breeds greater racial tolerance. I suspect that the world will continue to fly through the sky on our magic chairs from one country to the next, and have a plethora of mixed children along the way, essentially turning the world's brown and black and white skin into a beautiful golden brown candy of a planet. And to me, that can only be good news for our species. And if that's not enough, one of those megacities is just bound to become the first floating city. and no, I will not give that dream up. God damn it. Meanwhile, in the U.S., Burger King, a popular fast food joint here, has begun selling its new product of low-fat French fries that they hope will add to the decreasing weight decline in American fatties nationwide. Yes, America has gained a bad reputation as pretty much being the fattest nation on earth for some time now, but those who make fun of our constant cravings can only laugh a little while longer, as I am proud to announce that America is actually getting slimmer. We're getting slimmer over time, people, not fatter, not anymore. Well, our kids are at least, and you can chalk that win up to our First Lady, Michelle Obama, who has dedicated 5 straight years now trying to put a dent in this country's fat epidemic of childhood obesity. And that's it for today's Earth Night News. Restoring your hope in humanity one day at a time, and reminding you that we're not completely effed up after all. Remember to always speak positive, but when you do speak negative, never lose hope. I'm Adrian Ship signing off. Till next time, peace.